Several disturbing things are happening in Canada, and shout out to the New York Post. And I know I kind of dunk on them from time to time, but there was a video that I referenced a few days ago, and a couple of different videos in and of themselves that I never thought that I'd be able to do a full video on, mostly because it involved a heavy amount of censorship, because this was a disgusting attack. But they have a wonderful little article here to wrap everything up, and it's even more heartbreaking, and the passivity of Canadians has gotten to a point where it's disgusting, and all of the worst aspects of all of the other foreign Western countries, well, they've just come to rest within the confines of the Canadian borders. Dad killed outside Starbucks after allegedly asking attacker not to vape near his toddler. Yep, like this is everything, man. Like, he wasn't just killed, he was brutally stabbed, let to bleed out right in front of the place where everybody just sat and drank their lattes like stupid little sheep. This is what you get in Canada. You get a whole bunch of, heads down when you're walking down the street. Legitimately, man. Like, I spend quite a bit of time outside every single day, and I have to go out of my way in order to make eye contact with anybody, to wave, just to say good morning when I'm out on a run. And I see pretty much the same people, give or take 5 or 6 folks, every single day, and they're all just head down, just drones and zombies, outside of a couple of cool people that I see, and wave, and it's all that good stuff as well. But for the vast majority of people, like when I go out and grocery shop, they're all just miserable people. That's what Canada is in general. It's just a societal-wide mediocrity, and that perfect metaphor of the lawnmower only trims the tall grass. That's why anybody who's exceptional within the confines of Canada finds a way to leave Canada. Like, this is sketchy, man. Totally this is some third world type stuff. 37-year-old sons. Could I get that any more incorrect? Sorry, I'm just a little worked up. 37-year-old dad was stabbed to death in front of his 3-year-old daughter and fiance outside a Starbucks in Canada after he asked an attacker not to vape in front of his child. Inside the coffee house. It's like, hey, can you, just stop with that? And then they go outside, and then he just starts a shanking. Paul Stanley Schmidt and his daughter Erica were outside in the Vancouver coffee shop around 5:30 p.m. Sunday while his fiancée Ashley Umali was getting drinks. His mother, Kathy Schmidt, told Vancouver Sun. Horrifying video posted on social media captured the moment the man suddenly stabbed Schmidt, who was seen clutching his stomach as he staggered and fell to the ground in a pool of blood. Yeah, man, it was pretty horrific. Schmidt said she was told that the suspect, identified as 32-year-old Inderdeep Singh Gosa. You wonder why this never hit the mainstream? Never. You wonder why nobody in Canadian media talked about this story at all? There you go. There's your reason. Inderdeep. Not Brad, not Tom, not Chad, not Josh. Inderdeep Singh. Carried out the depraved attack on her son, asked him not to vape in front of Erica. This is what you get, man, where you can just openly disrespect white guys. I'll just say, man, this would either be front page news, a moment of societal inflection. If this was a woman, this was somebody a part of the alphabet mafia, or if this was anybody who wasn't white. Are we at this point in time where we can just finally admit this? This was so horribly wrong what happened. He was just trying to protect his daughter. I'm angry, I'm sad, she told the news outlet. It all started because he was vaping beside the baby. Ashley's in shock. She watched the whole thing. She was devastated, Schmidt added. Gosa has been charged with second-degree murder. Oh, okay, great, fantastic. But Schmidt said she would like the charge to be upgraded to first-degree murder, which provides proof of premeditation. Yeah, they went outside after it happened. So, yeah, no, that makes sense. He had a knife. I don't carry a knife into a coffee shop, do you? And that's another problem. Like I said, there's so many different confounding factors that makes this just a perfect example of why modern day Canada is absolutely dog shit. Okay, if this guy could have backed up this simple act, okay, hey, don't vape in front of my kid. Okay, if vapes were classified, because there's a big smoking ban, there's no indoor smoking within anywhere in Canada, no smoking within was it 5 meters of the door of any establishment. If vapes were properly characterized as being a tobacco product as well and then worthy of being banned, there you go. You would have avoided this situation totally, 100%. I personally think that vapes are just as bad for a different reason than cigarettes. It's just another sedative and another thing that's just going to kill you quickly. And then also, being a Canadian as well, all of your healthcare expenses that we don't even know the full laundry list of what could potentially be there, that's also going to become a burden from my taxes. So yes, I have a direct say in this stuff. And then also, because you're not allowed to carry any personal defense, because, oh, there you go once again. Oh, I'm sure he disregarded, or rather, noticed the "don't kill your fellow customer" sign that was outside that Starbucks. And, oh, if only there was bigger, bolder font that was on that sign, that would have prevented this asshole from killing somebody in cold blood. If you could defend yourself, if there was anything close to being a Second Amendment, if there wasn't some pussy in Ottawa just telling everybody how to live their life because he has armed security guards, but none of us plebeians are allowed to. If we had a means of self-defense, he might have got one stab in, but he also would have had another eye in his forehead. The grieving mom told City News that she was also shocked about how no one rushed to help her dying son. Yeah, that's something else that you'd have to check in the video specifically himself, because there are people just, I think, up here as well. Oh no, you can't see. So I guess it would be on the right of your guys' screen on the other side. There's just people there, you know, just sitting, drinking their coffee. People inside the Starbucks as well, not doing a goddamn thing. I'm not incredibly surprised, because you see just horrific stuff happen all the time. Like I said, I'll just make reference to a grocery store once again. You see somebody, I think back when they had plastic bags, because that's more important. We need to ban the single-use plastics, but not worry about anybody coming into the country and not assimilating and then just end up doing this absolutely wild stuff. Yeah, no, of course. You just get rid of the plastic straws because my turtle's in the middle of fucking Manitoba. Get out of here. No, somebody drops something, you know, a shopping bag breaks. Somebody can't reach something up on a higher shelf. I go out of my way. I see somebody that's doing that, as long as it's not anything that would be a great burden to myself, I'm going to help them. Because, oh geez, I was raised to treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. If I found myself in a compromising situation, I would appreciate somebody coming out to help me. I can tell you specifically, I've been in a handful of fist fights. More often than not, it's been in service of other people, namely family members. Now, that's not just me virtue signaling how good of a person I am. That's just goes to show that we're also living in an epidemic of broken homes that don't teach good morals. Oh, just keep your head down, you know, don't pay attention to the crazy guy that's over there. You don't know if he's going to go and commit more terrorist acts. It wasn't until basically he was in dire straits that somebody flagged down an officer on the sidewalk. An officer on the sidewalk. No yelling, no screaming, just, oh, there's an officer that's walking. Oh, hi. Yeah, there's a dead guy that's on it. Can you guys deal with this? Because it's just really throwing off my enjoyment of my latte. What kind of world are we living in when you take your family to Starbucks in the middle of the afternoon and you're intact and killed, with many people standing around videotaping and watching? You're living in Vancouver. You're living in Vancouver, which, hey man, I'm sure if anybody ran a toxicology report, he was probably on one of those, oh, now it's been decriminalized substances. Of course. But it's a degenerate society with absolutely no shame at all whatsoever. Just this fat fuck in a sweatsuit going down to Starbucks, making sure that he has his knife just in case his credit card gets declined for his venti coffee. Police have only said that the officer on patrol was flagged down about 5:40 p.m. Grandview and West Pender Street after the stabbing, which was followed by a brief altercation. The suspect did not resist, and the officer arrested him inside the Starbucks. Police spokesman Sergeant Steve Addison told the Vancouver Sun. He said police are appealing for more witnesses and video to help investigators determine the motive of the senseless killing. Well, I think you have the former fiance, the dead guy, to go ahead and back up the story. Unless, of course, he can figure out that somebody overheard this mean white guy saying something about, oh, shouldn't you be at a convenience store, not a Starbucks? Oh, well, guess what? Case dismissed. There's a significant amount of evidence that tell us what happened. What we're focusing on now is, why did this happen? He's a fucking nut job. How about that? What are the events that transpired in the moments leading up to this very serious crime? Addison said. Spokesman also urged people not to share the shocking footage of the attack. It's a graphic video. Yeah, exactly. A graphic video that need not have happened if there was any decency left in Canada, if there was any strong sense of culture that wasn't continuously and relentlessly attacked out there. Because what are we replacing it with? Just a lawless, hapless, responsibility-free culture. One that pushes this on the next generation of kids. Yo, check this disgusting, haram, awful stuff out, man. We don't need to have any noise on it, mostly because it just kind of makes me sick. You have, yeah, like it says here from End Wokeness, Canadian State TV just put a special on normalizing drag to kids. Yeah, these kids are like, what is this mentally ill man sitting in front of me with a whole bunch of makeup on? This is what's getting put out by CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Council, and they're trying to tell you that this is normal, that this is stuff that you can aspire to because Canada is all-inclusive. We used to be referred to as a melting pot, but now, no. You don't stand up and salute the flag. I don't even think they play the national anthem first thing in the morning at the public schools anymore. You swear fealty to the current thing while Nero fiddles on the roof of this collapsed society. Makes me sad. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.